Recording recorded. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Aaron Whittier. Happy Thursday. Excited for you guys to be on here tonight and excited for those of you that are watching the recording to take a look at what we're doing. Someone invited you here tonight or shared this replay with you for a reason. Maybe they told you there's some incredible devices that they're using, they're sharing. Maybe you've tried a device already potentially, but a lot of exciting things are happening. Or maybe you heard there was an incredible business opportunity as well, or both. Maybe it's both. But I'm going to share a little bit of information tonight with you. I'm not going to keep you here all night. I'm a big believer in try to get that message out to people as quick as possible, and then you could get back to the person about go on here, do due diligence, and go on from there. So first, I want to get started and just talk about two big challenges that no one really prepares us for, and it's proactive wellness, strategic timing, and real leverage. So we're going to talk about those things tonight here. We'll talk about America only tonight. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that are going to watch this in Australia. We got people in Australia that are really building this, and also in Europe as well. But people all around the world might see this replay. But let's just kind of focus on America tonight. We in America spend more on healthcare than any nation in history. So why are we still getting sicker, right? Everything's rising. Chronic illnesses rising. Prescriptions are rising. Everything's just going higher and higher. And, there's a reason for that, right? We're in a crisis in America. We're in an obesity crisis, physical inactivity crisis, right? We sit down way too long. So obviously those things can contribute to major illnesses in our country. And plus a big problem is big pharma pushing prescriptions on us, right? Just our whole medical industry right now. 70% of adults in the US take at least one prescription drug daily. And over the course of an average American's lifetime, will ingest 50,000 pills. That's a problem. That's massive, right? So, the system makes money when people stay sick. We all know that. So, not when we stay optimized. So, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about being optimized. Let's actually go back here one here. Sorry about that. So in America, we kind of wait for symptoms to arrive, right? And we diagnose, and then what do? They prescribe medication for those symptoms. And we're not really taught to support the body daily, improve resilience, and also optimize function. So, you probably already know you may or may not know this, but the global wellness industry is experiencing massive growth right now. And a big reason is something we call biohacking, and which includes PEMF. We're going to talk about that tonight. Red light therapy, recovery tech, and there's a major global shift on the way people approach health right now. People want drug-free solutions. The world's shifting towards prevention, not just treatment. And tech and AI health are emerging. So, at-home devices are much more in demand now. PEMF is now driving the growth the most. And so there's a lot of reasons for that. The aging population is driving all this. So education, a lot of things are driving this new wellness industry, if you will, and this revolution in a sense. So our company, Olylife, that's where we live. And after this Zoom tonight, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So let's talk a little bit about the company, Olylife, the company profile here. There's 3 years of research went into this. The company, Olylife, has laboratories owned in Sweden and Germany. There's thousands of global patents. There's certifications in Europe. These devices are made with advanced chips in rare metals only found in Japan. And they're assembled. And there's headquarters right now in Singapore, in Xiamen, China, and the branch offices of Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Hong Kong. And right now they're expanding rapidly. And when I say rapidly, I mean really fast. They're expanding the US, Canada, Mexico, Europe, Australia, you name it. They're expanding everywhere. Why? Well, because of these devices. These devices are just absolutely incredible. And just to give you a little background, the company is 3.5 years old. They did over $2 billion in sales their first 3 years. 2 billion. I mean, think about it. Have you ever heard that before? A company doing $1 billion in sales their second full year in business, their second calendar year, not cumulative, but their second calendar year they did $1 billion in sales.
I'm going to the.
And they did another billion last year as well. So the company right now is doing 80 plus million per month just in Asia, not including around the world. And on the business side, because it grew so fast, the people that were kind of first to the market in Asia, they created over 500 millionaires in just 3 years. I mean, absolutely incredible. They're shipping to over 180 countries now. And, they're selling just a ton of devices. And, why? The, we have certifications that you can trust, right? All the patents we have on these devices, scientific backing and global reach. PEMF and terahertz, the combination of those. And people always ask, we talk about these devices. Like, oh, I think I've heard of PEMF before. Oh, is that like the Beamer mat, right? And there's, if you look online, there's a lot of PEMF devices out there. And, but the difference here, because listen, I've been with this company 6 months tomorrow. And I could tell you, and I'm sure everybody that's on this Zoom here tonight that's been with us for a little while can say that everybody that's used these devices is experiencing something good. And you just don't see that when you're sharing something, whether it's a product or whatever it is. There's only always a certain percentage of people that say, "Oh, that didn't work for me," right? We've always heard that. So with this company, everybody's seeing results. And I was on the phone with one of the chiropractors that's just joined the team here, and he said he just got this device about a week ago. And he's a gentleman, he's a chiropractor that, has the 20 or $30,000 PMF devices in his practice. He's really big on biohacking with his clients and his patients. And I remember doing a Zoom with him about a month ago, and he said, "Aaron, why is everybody getting results?" He said he's been approached by a few different people. He said, "Why is everybody talking about this device?" I said, "Listen, I don't know." I said, "I really don't know why everybody's getting results, but I will tell you what I do know, and that is the company Olylife, they patented the unique combination of frequencies, taking PEMF, which stands for pulsed electromagnetic field, radio frequency, and terahertz energy. So the PEMF and radio frequency, you can look them up on, ChatGPT or whatever AI you want to use. Those are the therapeutic energies. Those heal the body. And the terahertz acts as a carrier that drives those two frequencies deeper into the body. And when he heard that, he's like, "Oh, that's different." I said, "Yeah." So this chiropractor, talked to him yesterday. He said he put 20 patients on this P90 Plus. I'm going to show you that in a second. The last 2 days, and he said again, all these patients he's been using these devices on, these $30,000 devices, every one of them, after they tried this 20-minute session on the P90 Plus, said they felt amazing. And he was blown away. He's like, "Aaron, this is special." I said, "I know." I know. So, what does PMF and terahertz do? You can read on the screen there what it does. You can look it up on any kind of AI. You can Google it. PMF, it was originally developed by NASA to support astronaut health in zero gravity environments. Pretty cool, right? NASA discovered it. So you can see what it does: encourages cell repair, regeneration, supports healthy circulation, inflammation, all kinds of stuff. You look at these astronauts when they came back from space, when they're out in space for a period of time, they came back and they couldn't even walk. They can't stand up, right? So it really does a number on their bodies being out in space. And you look at the evolution of PMF technology, electromagnetic fields were introduced through electricity, radio, modern tech in the early 20th century. There was growing awareness of EMF effects in the mid to late 20th century. And then, these scientists at NASA discovered the benefits of pulsed electromagnetic field in the 60s and 70s. And there was growing awareness in the 2000s. People like Shaquille O'Neal, I'm sure you all heard of Shaquille O'Neal. He's on YouTube saying that PEMF really did amazing for his career with, recovering from injuries and things like that. You can find PMF devices and, maybe really nice wellness places, maybe, um, physical therapy places. You could find PMF devices in the equestrian world. You can find them everywhere. They give PMF therapy to horses. The breeders and racers, they're always giving PMF therapy to their horses because they get really arthritic in their joints when they race and everything else. But it really wasn't there for the masses. A company came out years ago called, the Beamer mat, right? Those Beamers are about $5,000 or $6,000. You lay on the mats, and people got great results of those, right? But they're expensive. So fast forward to the 2000s, Olylife came out with devices that, again, we just talked about, different way of delivering the technology to the body, but also affordable. And going back to this chiropractor, when I talked to him about a month ago, he said, "Aaron, finally, if these devices work," he said, "finally, I have devices that are affordable for my clients." I said, "Exactly." And that's why a lot of practitioners are joining the company, started sharing these devices because finally they're affordable. And when they figure out what these devices are doing for people, it is really mind blowing. So, terahertz, you can see what terahertz does. The Therapy 90 Plus boosts brain and nerve function, supports brain and mood, does so many different things, improves blood flow, activates cellular energy. Here's a picture of our different devices here. You can see the Terra P90. That was the original device that did over $2 billion in Asia in 3 years. You think that device works? 2 billion in sales? I'd say so, right? So we added some other devices here real soon, and we got another Ollie Spring coming later this year, which we're so excited about. That Ollie Spring is supposed to be just incredible. So let's talk about the Terra P90. This device that did over $2 billion in the first 3 years. You put your feet on this device, and again, just because of the way the PMF and radio frequencies delivered through the terahertz, what it does to the body is absolutely incredible. We have thousands of testimonials of people with, different ailments. We can't make medical claims. We have to be very careful of that, of course, right? But people with different ailments getting incredible results. And you look at that P90 Plus in the middle bottom of the screen, that's the new and improved P90. It has two attachments that come with it. A Frost Age Beauty one for skincare, uses radio frequency, TENS, red light therapy. A lot of people the clinician world, people like estheticians and stuff like that are using it, saying it's an instant facelift. I mean, that comes with the P90 Plus. Also, that wand there for spot treatment. It has a lot of, people use it on their neck and everything else. So that P90 Plus, the most popular device out there we have right now. Everybody's getting it. So let's show you a video here. This video just blew me away. So let's show you this. This is woman's blood under a microscope. It's slow moving, all clumped together, not really moving.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. Holy smoke. Look how separate they are. Wow.
I mean, that video absolutely blows me away every time. That's for 20 minutes on our P90 Plus. Look at the blood flow, the circulation. Just does incredible for the body. So the global eye strain crisis, we all know that we all look at our computers way too long, our phones, right? Our kids are exposed, way too long with their phones and everything else. And prolonged exposure to EMFs may alter biological rhythm. Overexposure to blue light can lead to digital eye fatigue. You guys have been hearing this stuff. So we have a device to help. We have this Galaxy G1 Smart Eye Massager designed to help reduce eye fatigue, from screen time, daily stress, and reading. Uses gentle massage. This is my favorite device. It puts me to sleep every time. Even though I shouldn't sleep, you're supposed to look through the little pinholes, but it relaxes me so much. It's helping people with anxiety. It's helping people with headaches, things like that. It just incredible. And this is our most popular newest device, our shaken massager. I actually have it on right now. You can't see it, but I have it on. If I stood up, you'd see it on my belly. But it uses ultrasound to help break down, visceral fat, heat therapy, high frequency vibration, radio frequency, red light, dynamic massage, and also PEMF. This device, I tell you, people turn it around after they use it on the belly, turn it around on the lower back. It's been helping people with lower back issues as well. So listen, this technology is absolutely incredible. We keep bringing out new devices with this technology. And when you get a device, you want another one. That's what's neat about it. You're like, oh, I got the P90 Plus. Now I want the goggles, So it's kind of like Apple, if you get an Apple phone, you might want to get the iPad, right? You might want to get the Apple Watch, right? You might want to get a Mac computer because you like the technology, right? So that's what this company is. So what I want to do right now, I want to stop the share. I want to bring on someone to do a testimonial. Kim, I'm going to spotlight you here. Will you share your testimonial with the P90 Plus for us?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. So when I got my P90 Plus, I was super excited, obviously. I had a lot of pain in my hands. I'm a golfer and my hands would wake me up at night. And past treatments, I've done different heats, paraffin, ultrasound. I had been seeing an orthopedic massage therapist, and that would help, obviously. But and I would massage myself. So I got my unit, and the first night I only did the foot plate, and I had it on level 1. And that night I slept amazing. That you get the best sleep you ever get with this. But my hands did not wake me up. And I was just shocked because I was like, it couldn't happen with just one night. So the next day I did one treatment again and I did the foot plate on one and I did use the wand with the heat and the red light on mainly my thumb area and across my palm of my hand. And honest to God, I have not had a single pain. I golf regularly and it's gone. It is totally gone. I try to use it daily, but some days life gets in the way and I don't get it. And I know when I don't use it. So I am just ecstatic about that. It was my number one problem. So yes, it is great stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. And there's so many. We have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials just on our own Facebook page, right? We started a page called Simplifying Wellness. If you haven't been invited to that, definitely get invited to that Simplifying Wellness page. You can read hundreds of testimonials of people like him and other people just getting incredible results with these devices. And we also have a Telegram channel with actually even more, with people around the world sharing their testimonials with these devices. So it really is incredible what these devices can do. So, I encourage you get back to the person inviting you on here and just, find the device that fits your needs. So we're going to shift gears now. And if you're here to kind of learn a little bit more about the potential for sharing these devices, I'm going to talk a little bit, if that's okay, about the potential to earn money and a little bit about why this business is such a home run. Number one, our product is demonstratable. When you put people's feet on these devices or they use them, they feel them working, number one. Now, does everybody get a result like the first day using it? Is everybody going to be pain free the first time? No, of course not, right? But like Kim said, you might experience better sleep the first time you use it potentially. I had issues with my circulation in my legs. I sat down for literally two years straight, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, calling leads. I was a health insurance agent years ago. And that really did a number on my body, as you can imagine, right? I had circulation issues. When I lay down to sleep at night, my legs would throb, they felt heavy. I had a big varicose vein in my leg, had it needled, had all kinds of stuff trying to get the pain reduced, and nothing really helped. Used everything, any kind of, you name it, any kind of product on the market, to help relieve it. Nothing did. But 3 weeks on this P90 Plus, my circulation is incredible. I have no pain in my legs. My legs don't feel heavy. Just feeling so much better. So that's my testimonial. So not every, it took me 3 weeks. It took me about 8 to 10 days to start feeling less pain, but it took me 3 weeks to really get rid of my pain with that issue. So everybody's different here, but the product's demonstratable. You can feel it work, and it's not a huge lifestyle change, which is great, right? And really, as you all know, business is about timing, right? Timing is everything. Timing matters more than talent. Even if you're not good at something, right? That if the timing's right, it can really help you if you take advantage of that. So every business goes through three phases. There's a startup phase where most companies fail, right? Especially restaurants. We talk about restaurants. And then there's the growth phase where it starts to gain popularity, gains momentum, and eventually it stabilizes, right? Where eventually, let's talk about cell phones, right? Everybody gets a cell phone. There was a big boom there, and now everybody's got cell phones. Can you still make money in the cell phone industry? Sure, but it's not the real big boom is gone, right? So you look at where we fit here. The startup phase, obviously, you see what happened in the startup phase. First 3 years, the company did over $2 billion in sales. I'd say they went really far from failing there, right? And now we're just open in America right now and other countries besides Asia. So look at that red dot. That's kind of where we sit right now. Really poised for explosive growth. And I will tell you, I've been with the company 6 months now, and it is moving. I mean, it is moving fast. It is really gaining momentum, but we're in the very beginning. So I kind of like to say, if you want to go, if you want to go west, right? You see a train going 100 miles an hour west, you get on it. Where are you going, right? You're going west, right? So just get on the train, if you will, right? And follow the simple system, and you can do really well here. So eventually we're going to stabilize, but that's going to be a long way away here. We got a lot of time here. So how do you get started? Well, the nice thing about this company is there's no startup fee. If you want to share these devices, whether you want to share the devices or not, if you buy a device, you're in business if you want to be. So you just buy a device for $1,000. It can be used by the whole family. It's global ready. There's no auto ship like other businesses out there, which is nothing wrong with that. But people are kind of tired of the auto ships. In other words, you have to keep spending money every month to satisfy the compensation plan or have enough customers to satisfy that. Again, nothing wrong with that. But people don't want to spend money every month if they don't have to, right? You don't have to here. You buy a device, you're fully qualified in the compensation plan forever. There's daily payout as well. And actually you can earn a little bit more money if you come in at a higher price. But listen, I like to say you get in where you fit in. Okay. You can buy $1,000 device. You can buy the P90 Plus for 1,500, which a lot of people do. A lot of people buy in for $2,000 to get the P90 Plus and the goggles. It's a really good 1-2 punch there, having both of those devices. But again, get in where you fit in. Okay. Some people get more, like that chiropractor we just talked about a minute ago. He bought a lot more devices. We have some people on here now that are starting wellness centers, right? They buying a lot more devices because they want to sample them for more than one person at a time. So again, you can just get in, get a device, and you're actually in business, which is incredible. So let's talk about some ways to earn. I'm not going to go through all seven tonight just to save time. But again, the great thing about this business, there's no joining fee. Your fee is buying a device. There's no subscription. You're active forever with that one-time purchase. You can build international teams. So if you know anybody in the world, we're shipping to just about every country except for North Korea. And there's passive potential as well. So let's talk about the structure here. What we do here is we build a binary compensation plan. If you've never built a binary compensation plan, binary stands for two legs. You're going to build two teams essentially here. And you're just going to introduce people to these devices. And I'm going to talk about the very simple system in a second. But the first person that wants the device goes on your left side. The second person you put on your right side. And again, you have a whole team to help you with this. You don't have to learn this stuff right away. But just know that the binary compensation plan is the most community-driven compensation plan. You can really help each other out with these compensation plans, which is great. I want to show you something I've never seen before, and I guarantee none of you have either. In 30 years in this industry, I don't think this has ever been done before. This is really neat. Normally if you build businesses, right, you can share these devices with people and help people get their businesses started, and they make money, and you can make a piece of those commissions as well, even if you don't know people, right? So you make money on your team of people, but have you ever heard of making money off the person directly above you? Probably not, right? So this is really neat. When you come in, let's say you come in for $1,000 device and you get placed below, let's say Kim. And Kim, right above you in the compensation plan, she makes $1,000. Well, you're going to make 5% of her income, up to three times what you came in for. So in other words, if you came in for $1,000 and Kim made $1,000, you're going to make 5% of that. You're going to make $50 off of Kim's income. So eventually, when Kim makes a total of $60,000, 5% of 60,000 is $3,000. You made $3,000 off Kim's income above you, and you only spend $1,000 to come in. It's pretty cool, right? So I've never seen that before. So, listen, I look at this as a bonus. You never know who you're going to come in. The next person in the tree is, so you never know who's going to be above you, right? I got started 6 months ago. I haven't made a dime from the person above me, but the person below me has made a lot of money, right? Because I'm out there sharing these devices. So it really is just kind of luck of the draw. But I think it's a cool little thing, right? It's a cool little bonus. If you come in for a little more, 2,000, you can make up to $6,000 off the person directly above you. Pretty neat little facet of the compensation plan. We also have something called a performance bonus, a direct sales bonus. We like to call it a fast start bonus sometimes, where when you share a device with somebody, you're going to get a little reward, a little commission there. So $1,000 device has what we call 75% point value, or PV for short. So you're going to make 10% of the point value when someone gets a device. So if someone comes in for a $1,000 device, the point value is $750. You're going to make $75 performance bonus. If someone comes in for a little bit more, again, most people are coming in for 2,000. They want the P90 Plus and the goggles. You're going to get 1,500 PV there. You're going to earn $150. So what I want to do now is I want to show you something that really knocked my socks off when I saw this. In this, again, I've never really seen something quite like this. We talk about this industry, and there's so many different companies out there that are fabulous. There's so many great companies in our industry of direct sales, relationship marketing, whatever you want to call it. And everybody says you got the best comp plan, right? How many times have you guys heard that, right? We got the best comp plan, right? And listen, there are some amazing comp plans out there, but I've never seen one quite like this. And let me explain this. So let's say you come on board, right? And you go out and you follow the simple system and you share it with A1. A1 comes on board, you put them on the left side. And let's say that person just gets $1,000 device, and then you go out and you share it with somebody else, B1. You put them on your right side. And what happens when you do that, remember, you get the performance bonus from both of them, but you're also going to make a $375 tier bonus. So the first left, first right on every level, you're going to get a tier bonus. So let's say you bring on A1 and A1 brings on A2. You don't know A2, and B1 brings on B2. You're still going to make another $375 bonus, even though you didn't bring either one of those people in, because that's the first one on that tier. And that goes to infinity. In other words, it never ends. You can always get a tier bonus, the first left, first right on your team. You're going to get a tier bonus. Now, it gets even better because most people are actually coming in, like I talked about, for $2,000. If A and B on each side come in for $2,000, your tier bonus is going to be $750. Absolutely incredible. And listen, every time, people are always buying more devices. So A and B, they might buy another device eventually. Well, you got a tier bonus again. And you can keep tier bonusing. And so, like, let's say someone buys $6,000 worth of devices. You can make 2,250 on that tier from those people, which is pretty neat. So let me give an example of this. Let me give a little illustration of this. So Tuan and Van are my sponsors. They're the people that are leading the charge here in North America and really so many places around the world. And again, I want to talk about money a little bit tonight because I think it's important to understand what's possible here. And Tuan and Van, my sponsors, they were in the company 11 months and they made over $1 million in commissions in 11 months. Now, has it happened for everybody? No. They were the first to be here. They really worked hard. So they sponsored me. And let's say I sponsored you. Now, what's nice about this is let's say you just got started, right? And you're logging into your free website and you're checking things out. And Tuan and Van are sharing it with people all the time. So let's say they put someone on your left side, your left team. Now, again, this isn't guaranteed, right? This is called spillover. You may or may not get help from people. It just depends. And while you're looking over the stuff, and you said, Aaron, how do I do this? Say, hey, listen, I'm going to send you a picture of the P90 Plus machine because you don't have it yet. And you're just going to share that with people. Just text it to people or send it through social media and say, have you seen this device yet? By the way, this is the system. This is how simple the system is. Let's say I send it to Leslie. I say, Leslie, have you seen this device yet? And she goes, no, what is it? I say, hey, it's a PEMF device. And Leslie goes, what's that? And I go, hey, do you use any kind of AI or Google? She says, sure. Say, hey, go to Google or any kind of AI and just type in, what are the benefits of PEMF? And she does that and she sees it's all positive. Wow, helps with inflammation, circulation, yada, yada, yada. And I say, hey, Leslie, check that out. She goes, yeah, it looks incredible. I say, hey, I'm going to send you a couple short videos. Check this out. I send you a video about the PEMF and maybe a video about the different devices. And then what I do, I say, hey, you on Facebook? And she says, yeah. So I'm going to add you to this testimonial page. You got to see these testimonials. And she does that. She goes on the testimonial page. She reads all these testimonials of people just like you and I with different ailments. And she gets back to me and goes, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I want this device. So let's say, okay, she's the first person that you sign up. Okay. So while this is all happening, I sign up somebody and put them on your left. And then you bring on Leslie. Leslie's your first person. Remember, they go directly on your left first. And then you share with a few other people, right? And your second person goes on your right side. And again, we help you with this. It's very simple. And you get your first tier bonus. Now, in this illustration, we're going to just do, for this example, we're going to pretend that everybody's buying $2,000 worth of devices to give this a simple, illustration. So the first person you sign up, you get $150 performance bonus. Remember the 1,500 volume. You get 10% of that. So you make a $150 performance bonus. The same thing with number two. But you get your first tier bonus on tier one there. You see that for $750. And then what happens is, okay, RP will bring in a couple more people and it keeps growing down your left side. And then you bring in your third person. And we put that on the left side of number two. You get another $150 performance bonus, another tier bonus. You do it again, your fourth person, because you're excited, right? You get another performance bonus, another tier bonus. And then what happens is really neat. Your second person you brought on board brings their first person in. And you look at that tier four, you didn't bring either one of those people in on that tier, but you still made a $750 tier bonus. When I saw that, I was blown away. I'm like, wow. Same thing happens on tier five. And then you get excited, you bring on another person, another person. So in this illustration, how many people did you actually bring on board? You brought on 6, right? But you look here, you got some help, right? And your people brought in some people. And your structure here has really 14 people, right? But you brought in 6. And 6 times $150 performance bonus is 900. And 6 actually got 7 tiers times 750 is $5,250. In this illustration, you made over $6,000. I mean, look at how simple that is. I have people that are on this Zoom right now that have done this. The first 30 days, they've exceeded this. I mean, people that have never really made money in this industry are making, $5, 6, 7, $10,000 the first 30 days, just sharing these devices because they compensate us so well. And it is super simple. So you look at this illustration as well. Again, all these devices have point value or PV. So in this illustration, 7 times 1,500 in point value is 10,500 on the left side and the right side. So what does that mean? Well, you actually get your first leadership rank of M1, we call it. In M1, you get 1 share. The company shares 5% of the company's revenue every year. And every January, they distribute that 5%. Think about 5% of $1 billion plus, right? That's a lot of money, right? So they share it with people that hit M1 all the way to M7. When you hit higher ranks, you get more shares. And by the way, I didn't say this, but the neat thing about this company, unlike other companies, is when you when you're accumulating volume, it never flushes. So when you hit 10,000, then you just got to do 90,000 more within the team to get to M2. It never flushes, which is really neat. So again, you can hit these ranks anytime. So it's really neat. So let me just kind of bring this full circle here and just talk about how simple this system is. Let's bring it all full circle. So again, the system is literally that. You don't have to really go out and try to convince people to buy these devices. You're just sending them a picture saying, have you seen this before? Asking them that you're telling them it's a PEMF device. Tell them to go to any kind of AI and look up what are the benefits of PEMF. Then you might send them a couple of videos and add them to our testimonial page. And listen, if someone has questions, of course, we can get on and help answer some questions, but it's really that simple. And people are getting devices like crazy. And what happens when they get a device? Well, they're going to experience something they probably never felt before. And when they get results, what do you think happens? Well, when people get results or like something, I'm going to tell people about it. It's going to happen organically, right? And that's what's happening already in the 6 months we've been here in America, which we're still a baby, but we're growing extremely fast. But on the business side, like we talked about, timing is everything. We've only been here 6 months, and timing matters more than talent. So if you've never done this, never had success in any kind of business before, you can do this. Okay. You can seriously do this because I feel I've never had a device or a product that has been this simple to share and also this effective with just about everybody. So it really is incredible. So get back to the person invited you on here. And again, not to fear or loss you, but this binary compensation plan, you want to get in as soon as you can because the next person that gets in could potentially be on your team. So there is a sense of urgency here as well. And you want to be first to your market as well. The people that probably don't know about this. So you want to be first and share with the people before they start sharing with you. So get back to the person invited you on here or share the recording with you, get your questions answered. And I want to be the first one to welcome you to our Team Impact, Ollie Nation, and Olylife. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care and have a great evening. Bye-bye, everybody.